Welcome in Craft and Design 3.0. I'm for my dear guys, for my dear audience. In this video, I will describe how to make garden art by rusty metal or rusty metal decoring ideas in a garden or a small lawn for decorations. So, my dear guys, when we talk about garden art by rusty metal, then different questions arise in our mind, like what is rusted metal called? How is cotton made? What are the property of cotton? Other name of rusty metal? What steel is designed to rust? So, my dear guys, when we talk about rusted metal, then cotton steel, also known as cotton, is a steel with a rusty appearance that has a very aesthetic quality and is being increasingly used in design. It is found particularly in building architecture and construction in public spaces, street furnitures, or to make uh, upmarket work of art, signs, chimneys, and fireballs. So, how is cotton made? My dear guys, cotton steel manufacturing process begins with the blending of three primary plates of steel like as a copper, chromium, and nickel, along with other allying elements like phosphorus, silicon, and manganese. So, what is rusty metal? Rust is a type of corrosion that occurs on metal surfaces when iron reacts with oxygen and water. So the chemical reaction that causes rust is called oxidation. The oxidation process eats away at the metal and create visible rust on the metal surface. So, my dear guys, when we talk about rust, then rust made of iron oxide, usually reddish brown oxides formed by the reaction of iron and oxygen in the catalytic presence of water of air procurement. And how, what is a chemical of rusty? Strong acid and alkalis, strong acid like hydrochloric acid, as well as strong alkalis react with the rust and dissolve it. However, these caustic chemicals also eat away at most other substances too, and they are very dangerous to work with. So, is rusty metal waste? In most cases, metal that are damaged or have rust can still be recycled as usual. So one factor to keep in mind is that the total value of your scrap is determined by weight. If the metal is rusted, it will likely weigh less than non-rusted scrap of the same size. And now what is the process of rusty or what metal rust best? The exposure of iron or an alloy of iron to oxygen in the presence of moisture leads to the formation of rust. So this reaction is not instantaneous. It generally proceeds over considerably large time frame. The oxygen atom bond with iron atom resulting in the formation of iron oxide. My dear guys, I especially prescribe in my video how to make garden art ideas for decoring purpose or for different other purpose. So my dear guys, who how do you prepare rusted metal for painting? If we paint it, my dear guys, prepare the metal, prepare the item surfaces by removing any dirt or grease. So apply the rust remover gel, brush or roll on evapor rust and gel and rinse the metal. Repeat as needed and also after all finish. So how do you make metal rusty as described in my previous video? You can easily rust your piece of metal in only a few minutes to have that aging effect. You need a solution of hydrogen peroxide, table salt, and white vinegar, as well as sunlight, and you can air dry it. So how do you make objects rusty? Separate a solution of 2 cups 470 milliliter hydrogen peroxide and 4 US 59 milliliter white vinegar and 1.5 or 8.5 gram of table salt on a clean piece of metal to rust it. So gently rinse the metal in water once it is as rusted as you want it to be. Dry it, then seal it with a coat of polyethylene. So, my dear guys, it is a rusty metal painted ideas and answer of that question. So, my dear guys, how do you make homemade rust? It is a beautiful question. Or which metal is easy to rust? Only iron can rust. That means other metal that do not contain iron are not susceptible to rusting. So how to make rust for art? Different colors, creating a huge variety of effect, and mixing it with a thin viscosity paint and the mattice flow it for making a beautiful rusty design. So, how to rust metal for craft and different craft ideas? Pour equal parts distilled vinegar and hydrogen peroxide into a spray bottle container. So, add around a 1/4 cup of salt to the container and shake a stir until the salt is dissolved. So, spray the mixture onto your piece of steel and sprinkle a liberal dose of salt across the steel. So, my dear guys, what do you need to make rust? It's also in our experiment. Mixing hydrogen peroxide and distilled vinegar together create a small amount of something called parasitic acid. So, acid is corrosive and can cause things like metal to break down. So hydrogen peroxide is made of hydrogen and oxygen, but it is oxygen that's key to creating rust on metal. So is rust hard or soft? My dear guys, rust is quite difficult as it has a lot of interesting concept, but you need to learn them sometime. Simpler first time language include Python, perhaps JavaScript and Shudder, and even things like Scratch and Small Basic. So, what object can rust? Technically, only iron and alloys that contain iron can rust other metal, including precious metal like gold and silver, can corrode in a similar way. What sets certain metal apart is the duration of time it takes for them to begin rusting or corroding. So, my dear guys, how do you, when we talk about the our craft, our art, gardening, design ideas, then how do you, it is a question, how do you prepare rust metal surface for painting, or how do you make a rusty metal look good? So, my dear guys, my dear guys, I have some pieces of wax paper under my project, under our project to catch the excess cinnamon, and how to, what are the basic of rust? My dear guys, strictly enforcing safe borrowing of data and function method and closer to operate on data and tuples structs and enormous to aggregate data and pattern matching to select and destructure data and try to define behavior on data and my dear guys, what color is rust on metal? Red brown. Stable rust is red brown in color, usually well adhered, and is caused by exposure to moisture sometimes during an object's lifetime. And what is rust? What to do in rust step by step? Install the tool you need to write your first rust code, learn basic concept in rust, and learn how to handle different Korean uses generic type and different other. So my dear guys, I my these ideas I specially prescribe for my their audience. It is a special for decoring a garden, a small lawns, a house in front of our house, a small garden in which we decor for our comer or welcome our audience, and we can make these ideas beautiful landlines and well decor for our dear comers guests. So my dear guys, I think that my video and my these ideas is best for your child as a learning process, and it is used for beginners. So I think that my video and my idea inspire you much, and you can learn from these ideas a lot of. So thank you very much guys for watching my video.